What's up, everybody? I hope you are doing well. Today, you got to watch this. You got to pay attention to this. What I wanted to do today is I'm going to expose you to some science that you don't often hear, that the government agencies designated to protect us don't really want to talk about or even do further research on. I have my own feelings on this, and I'll get into this as we go. But mostly the fitness YouTubers, the bros out there, the template sellers, they have no concept of this. They don't take it one step further. Well, what am I speaking about? I'm speaking about artificial sweeteners, and allow me the ability to share my screen with you as I speak with you. Now, this is going to be a quick video, and I want to walk you through this. Now, we're talking about artificial sweeteners, and many people believe that artificial sweeteners are actually a good thing because they're low calorie options which help you lose weight. And these are the same fools that run around talking about CICO. Calories in, calories out. This is why I say CICO is for fools, and CICO is promoted largely by fools. All they focus on is calories in versus calories out, and they most often prescribe synthetic toxic chemicals that have low calorie thresholds as a means to put more food, more flavor into your body, but also endear themselves to the less informed population who assume, wow, that guy, that gal looks great, and they drink diet soda, they drink sugar-free maple syrup-like substances, they drink all these low-cal, low-sugar, synthetic toxic chemicals, and boy, they look great. Now, that's a whole aside, because most of the individuals who speak on this and promote this, they're all on drugs. Some do talk about their drug stack, most don't. But for the purpose of this video, I want to bring two scientific studies to you that you've likely not heard about, which will change your thoughts on this. Leave comments below, and I will get into those in a moment with you. Now, I'm going to run through these rather fast. I've already linked them below. These two studies I'll be talking about, they're linked below. There are literally dozens of other studies. I just chose two. Now, this study specifically is regarding gut microbiome response to sucralose, which is the most prevalent of the artificial sweeteners, and its potential role in inducing liver inflammation in mice. And I'll briefly read, and I'll kind of cut through. You can read the full thing. I don't want to make this a long video. Now, sucralose is the most widely used artificial sweetener, and its health effects have been highly debated over the years. In particular, previous studies have shown that sucralose consumption can alter the gut microbiota. The gut microbiome plays a key role in processes related to host health, such as food digestion and fermentation, immune cell development, and enteric nervous system regulation. Inflammation is one of the most common effects associated with gut microbiome dysbiosis, which has been linked to a series of human diseases such as diabetes and obesity. Now, for those of you watching, hopefully you understood and listened to what I said. Though sucralose and artificial sweeteners do bring forward low-calorie, flavor additive options to foods that you may prefer, they also bring with them a host of problems. And those problems primarily are focused in the microbiome, which many scientists, most current scientists, believe the majority of disease actually begins in the microbiome, and most likely related to inflammation. Let me read on in this study for you, as we can see the direct correlation. Now, Again, I'm going to run through this. There is so much information here, as you guys can see, and I will just take it down to the very end and just kind of help cover this. This is all supported. Go through. Please, please take your time and do the research. This is very interesting information that you should most definitely read on your own. Now, normal trajectories, UNRA, sucralose inflamed. As we go through here, again, sucralose altered amino acids and derivatives, right? So that just the gut microbiome, and I'm just jumping in here, the gut microbiome is highly involved in the synthesis and regulation of amino acids. Amino acids such as L-tryptophan, L-tyrosine, L-leucine, and L-isoleucine. Leucine, isoleucine, 2 of the 3 BCAAs, right? Leucine, very important for muscle protein synthesis. As well as their derivatives were affected by sucralose treatment. All right? So our body's ability to metabolize and synthesize amino acids, to regulate amino acids, was adversely affected by those mice in this study who were ingesting sucralose. So for all the meatheads, all the bros out there putting their clients onto these low-calorie synthetic toxic chemicals while at the same time pumping them full of BCAAs and EAAs and protein powders and protein-dense foods, do they not understand how ridiculous this actually is? How inferior their minds are? By putting their clients on synthetic toxic chemicals in the artificial sweetener category, they are directly competing a negative, or creating a negative result for amino acid synthesis and regulation. Forget about the immune function and the inflammation markers that we're about to speak about. I mean, just let's put, which is more important to me, let's put that to the side. Clearly, sucralose has a net negative effect, and we'll just say on protein consumption, protein absorption, protein regulation, protein synthesis with regards to the amino acids. Again, this entire study is linked down below. The gut microbiome can transform primary hydrophilic bile acids into secondary hydrophilic bile acids in the large intestine through deconjunction. I'll run through this. Bile acids not only facilitate fat and fat-soluble vitamin absorption and maintain cholesterol homeostasis, but are also viewed as signaling molecules that bind to the nuclear receptor. Several bile acids were significantly different between the control group and the sucralose-treated animals. Sucralose induced elevated pro-inflammatory gene expression in the liver. As described above, sucralose could increase the production of bacterial pro-inflammatory mediators, which may cause inflammatory responses in host tissues after being translocated to the host circulation. In fact, sucralose-treated mice exhibited elevated gene expression of pro-inflammatory markers in the liver. I mean, these are things that we have been speaking about. I have been speaking about for over a decade. This is clear. This is obvious. This science has been there. All the connections have been there. To not know this, to not see this, to not operate as if this is fact is a complete waste of talent, waste of opportunity. I mean, I'm really, I would say, dare say it's criminal. In order to intentionally tell people to eat foods, synthetic toxic chemicals that are known to have direct negative impact on their health, short and long term, especially when we start to break down the inflammatory issues, the systemic inflammation that is created in the microbiome as a result of these type of foods. I'm getting long here. I want to hop out of this and just finish. So the gut microbiota is a dynamic system, and maintaining a healthy balance is vital for the host. Previous studies have demonstrated that changes in the gut microbiota affect numerous host processes, such as immune system development, energy metabolism, and absorption, and can also impact diseases in and beyond the GI tract. Now, this study goes on. Please take your time, read it, understand the seriousness of this, and shove it in the face of all those seco fools who are promoting synthetic toxic chemicals, who are pushing sugar-free sodas and sugar-free pancake syrup and all the other crappy garbage chemicals out there, and also the supplement sellers. All the supplement sellers with all the artificial sweeteners, just know the only reason they put that in there is to make more margin. The only reason they put artificial sweeteners, which are known to have a negative impact on human health, is to create margin. If you see sucralose, if you see aspartame, if you see acesulfame potassium on the logo, on the label, on the ingredient list of any, quote, sports supplement or, God forbid, health supplement, just know the company is simply trying to squeeze you for cash. Just know that. That's the real of it, in my opinion, of course, which is well vetted and well validated. It's very easy to bring delicious food products, sports supplements, health supplements to market using healthy ingredients, but they're going to cost a little bit more. Some of these are a fraction of a penny more. But when you're printing thousands of, or producing thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of units, well, a few pennies starts to add up, and all they care about is their margins. They do not care about your health. If they cared about your health, you would not see artificial sweeteners on their ingredient list. That, in my opinion, goes for everyone. Now, let me just touch on this next point, which is equally shocking. Now, this study, intestinal metabolism and the bioaccumulation of sucralose in adipose tissue in rats. The aim of this study was to determine if the artificial sweetener sucralose is metabolized in rat intestine with repeated dosing, and examine whether sucralose might bioaccumulate in rat adipose tissue. Ooh, this is an interesting one. I'll actually explain what this means here in a moment. Now, the artificial sweetener sucralose is used globally as a sugar substitute to sweeten food, beverages, and medications. We're all aware of that. It first gained regulatory approval in Canada in 1991, followed by approvals in Australia, New Zealand, the US, and the European Union. Was based on, but I believe the EU has actually banned it. I know Whole Foods, by the way, does not sell any product that contains sucralose. And think about that. Think about that. Why would Whole Foods not sell any product that contains sucralose? This is a for-profit company. Think about that. If there was no issue, if there was no concern, why would Whole Foods not sell products that contain sucralose? Think about that for a moment. Let me get back to this. Now, as we move on, let's skim down here. Again, read this. This is linked below. Please read this. I'm doing a quick, fast and dirty review of this for you guys here. Treatment protocols, run through, sample, getting all the way. And you can see these are extensive. These studies are extensive. This is not just some quick and easy little opinion piece here. I want you to take the time to go through and read this and understand this. Now, discussion, analysis of fecal and urine extracts from rats dosed with sucralose for 40 days revealed new biotransformation products previously not reported or in data submitted to regulatory agencies, the US FDA of 98 or the European Union of 04. What does that mean? That means the finding of this study and the methodology used to create this study, this was not reported to the FDA or the European Union when the FDA and the European Union granted approvals, right? This is a grass product, as they say, generally recognized as safe. And I always say, generally recognized as safe. You can look at it that way, right? It's generally recognized as safe. You can look at it. That's the way I look at it. When I see that grass, I know it's generally recognized as safe. Think about that, right? Ooh. Now let's go down a little further here and I'll wrap this up for you. Major finding. Let me go through. Another major finding of the study was that sucralose persisted in adipose tissue 2 weeks after cessation of use, even though it mostly cleared from the urine and feces by 5 days. What does that mean? Oh. Oops. Thank you, Siri, for that. Not Siri, that's Google's version. After creation repair was not examined previously. And again, the retention of sucralose in adipose tissue during or after cessation of repeated chemical administration, which is ingestion, was not examined previously. How about that? Now, the finding that sucralose remains in the body for an extended period of time after termination of administration is consistent with exposure to other compounds that exhibit long-term storage in adipose tissue. Conclusions. Let's go here and finish up. In conclusion, data demonstrated that sucralose is metabolized in rats to compounds that are less polar and thus more lipophilic than the parent compound. Further, sucralose was retained in adipose tissue 2 weeks after cessation of intake. The findings of this study do not support the claims previously submitted to the regulatory agencies that sucralose is a stable compound that, one, is not metabolized in vivo, which means in your body, two, is excreted unchanged in the feces, three, clears the body within a few days. These new observations of metabolism of sucralose in the gastrointestinal tract and accumulation of the compound in adipose tissue were not part of the original regulatory decision process. As we move on. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury sitting here in the Dolce community, what do you think? After you listening live or on the replay, what do you think about this? Now we know, number one, the first study clearly showed us that sucralose ingestion has a deleterious effect on the microbiome. It can create systemic inflammation, not localized to the microbiome, but throughout the host. We know inflammation is a leading factor in a multitude of chronic illness and disease. We also saw the problems with sucralose with the direct absorptive response to certain amino acids. And again, I just skimmed this. I mean, we're here this was going to be a 10-minute video. We're already 20 minutes deep. And I didn't even scratch 3% of the data that was in there. I tried to pull a few points so you will now go and do your own research and review. But what I will ask you, I want to ask you for your comments. So leave your comments below this video once it posts. And also confront your bodybuilding bro. Confront your macro coach. Confront your seco proponent. Confront the person telling you to consume the artificial sugar, the artificial sweeteners. Confront them and ask them if they know any of this information and see what they say. I would love to hear an intelligent rebuttal of the facts using supportive evidence, but we won't hear that. We will simply hear some yelling and screaming, some possibly flexing of whatever pharmaceuticals they're taking and not telling you about, and they'll keep it moving. It's not hard to prescribe healthful whole food into an overall health and fitness program. And this is the saddest part as I close here. Healthful whole food has the highest net nutrient capacity per total calorie. Therefore, we can certainly meet a SECO criteria if we're prescribing healthful whole food. We can easily find a macro profile that fits the user if we're prescribing healthful whole food. But if we resort to synthetic toxic chemicals that have known negative effects on the host, well, what are we doing? The rule number one is what? Say it from the rafters. Do no harm. Do no harm is rule number one. Rule number one of all of this is do no harm. And if your guru is telling you to eat sugar-free products, Diet Cokes or Coke Zeros, I don't even know what's in market anymore. It's so far out of my world. If you are being told to eat these products, if these are on your meal plan, I would fire that person and ask for an immediate refund. At least I would send a scathing letter seeking supportive evidence and documentation and a firm reason as to exactly, and to me, why are you poisoning me? Why are you knowingly poisoning me? What is the purpose of this? Is that extreme? No, it's not extreme. It's not extreme based upon the data, based upon the medical literature, based upon the peer-reviewed scientific studies. It is not extreme. That is the appropriate response. So anyone who is consuming artificial sweeteners, you need to think twice. And anyone who is suggesting that their followers consume artificial sweeteners, shame on you. We should walk you through the streets like Ciri Lannister and just shaming you all the way to the library as you sit there and spend 2 years reading the books to figure out exactly what this is about and exactly what you're doing. And the number one rule here is what? Do no harms. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the time, for being here. I really appreciate you guys. You are amazing. Click the links below to read the sources. Read these 2 articles. Please educate yourself. Do not take my word on this. I am an educator. That is my job as a coach, as a trainer, is to educate you, not to tell you what to do, not to tell you what I think, is to lead you to greater levels of education that you can then research on your own. Determine what's best for you, but you need to hear it. There needs to be people like me, unfortunately, that bring you the honest information, the real information, the most honest, actionable, evidence-based information you will find on this channel. It won't be clickbaity, right? It won't be clickbaity. It won't be drama. It might not get nearly as many views as all the other bogus crap that's out there, but this is the place you're going to get real information from someone who's truly invested in you living a better life, a longer life, a healthier life, a more vital life, living your best life. That's what you're going to get here on this channel. And you're going to look freaking damn sexy too in the process. Right? Because we can get you looking like that right there too by eating healthful whole foods, or this young lady right here by eating healthful whole foods, real foods, high net nutrient foods. We can do this. So simple, so easy. We do not resort to these ClickFunnels marketing crappy tactics. I don't want to, I'm trying not to be mean or say bad things, but this is the truth and this is the way it is. So leave comments below. I want you to leave comments below this video. I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, click the links if you're interested. You want to learn more? You want to go deep down the rabbit hole? February 26th, 27th, and 28th, the Dolce Diet Certification and Fitness Conference is popping off, baby. It is going live, and I strongly suggest you guys check that out. Become a Dolce Diet certified coach. Why would you not? Why would you not spend that time with myself, spend that time with our team? Become a Dolce Diet certified coach. Learn everything you need to know about nutrition and dietetics to dramatically change your life and change the life of people around you. This is what it is. So take a look at that. That link is below if you guys are interested. We have a few spots left at this tier right now. I believe it's 15% off. We haven't released who the guest speakers will be, and that is going to be incredible, by the way. We're going to tell that when we're at full retail price. There are a few spots. I think there might be 4 or 5. There were 7 spots earlier today. I think there's 4 spots left at this tier. If you're interested, hop in right now, dolcedietshop.com. Click that link below. Also, our #1 rated online healthy meal plan is at thedolcediet.com. Click that link below and save 25% with promo code TRANSFORM. Eat healthful whole foods all day long. No synthetic toxic chemicals, no low carb, no keto, no carnivore, just the same foods the world's greatest athletes eat that you can also eat and get in amazing shape and actually live a real life. That's all in the links below. I appreciate you guys. Remember, leave comments below this video. I'm going to hop back in there in a little bit and I'm going to answer and engage with you guys. I appreciate you being here. This was an important video. By the way, this was an important video. Definitely read those 2 studies in those links below. And until next time, boom.